Okay, so they told us to lock down, stay inside, don't go anywhere, everything's closing. All of a sudden, people don't have jobs. The only ones that seem to be employed are like law enforcement, fire department, and hospitals, uh, and gas stations. People are, had to close their businesses. Retail stores and you know the president's really thrilled because he thinks Walmart's great. They're gonna be there. Da 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 da. Then all of a sudden, Walmart's only going to be open till 8 because it's got to spend all the rest of their time stocking because of the hoarders. Because there's people out there purchasing tons and tons of stuff so they can sell it on the internet all around the United States for $100 for a 4-ounce bottle of hand sanitizer and $20 for a roll of toilet paper. Uh, really? And then the world starts getting really corrupt. People are you know going out in public and speaking their piece and these public things happening, protests and children getting shot because they're with their parents out on some protest. And um they're talking about bankrupting out uh police departments and states and stuff, so that once a state goes bankrupt, then they can't afford to pay law enforcement and fire departments and EMTs and ambulance drivers and stuff. And doctors are working 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours straight treating a corona. And people are getting $1 million medical bills because they went in the hospital for corona and they can't afford that. But they wanted us to stay inside like the bills are just going to wait. Not everybody's a millionaire. Not everybody owns a bunch of rental houses and so forth, and has stacks of money laying around. Uh, Even the people that have retired out and are living on their benefits, whether they're widow's benefits or retirement from military or something else. I mean, that's what you call limited income. You have to watch your pennies so you'll have some when, until you die, because you really didn't want to go back to work. Um, I, the government wanted us to stop the world, which, I mean, I'm in agreement. The Spanish flu was like 100 years ago, and they did stop the world, and they killed it. It was great. But, I mean, lettuce isn't a penny a head anymore, and gas isn't 2 cents a gallon either today. But, you know, they were supposed to do these corona checks for everybody so that, people could afford food and pay their utilities. And they said, well, the landlord can't make you use it for rent and all that. Well, you know, it was kind of obvious. Nothing is for free, first of all. And it's kind of obvious when, they have a lockdown on rents and stuff. And its expiration is supposed to be June of 2020 and all that. And this thing starts around March, kills the industry of tourism for a lot of the touristy places and that. So they automatically have a huge loss because that's the biggest money of the year is spring break for a lot of touristy places. And a lot of businesses just will never recoup because they lost the spring break. Although spring and summer are running together because they let people go wild. But all these people, that got these corona checks, and it was one. And lockdown was like since March. And it just gets worse and worse. And they told us it was going to, skyrocket and get worse in June, July, or August, or September. And they're already talking about reopening schools and doing all this other stuff. Why did they not pay everybody? The government has so much money, the United States government. But all that funding for the war stuff and all that other stuff, that we don't care about all that right now. It's just keeping people alive, because this stuff is so powerful and there's so much they don't know about it. I mean, it can wipe out the whole universe. Really. Especially with stupid people. People that think, masks are stupid and social distancing is stupid. They don't give a damn. They don't tell their children, look, if you go out to the store, try to walk away from people. Try to be 6 foot away. Don't hang out in gang loads of people. If you're gonna go to, Florida for spring break, I don't think it's a good idea to have 20 people in a rental property so that y'all can party together. I mean, the whole thing's a mess. It's a raucous mess. The government should have been paying everybody by the month so that they could attempt to pay their bills. You want us to stay inside? Great, we'll do it. There's probably lots for all of us to do that we haven't had time to get to, because we all work for a living. Most of us anyway. 90% of the world. And, pay us. Because nobody's going to erase rents and utilities and storages and car insurance and medical insurance payments and whatever. I'm not a big credit person. I like to pay my bills. So I don't have all those other weird debts or loans or any of that. Even my cars, I pay for all my cars in full. I learned that years ago. I just buy them. I own them. Don't have to worry. And if I want to get rid of them, I sell them or I gift them to people that need cars, But, they knew it was coming. People were hoping that they wouldn't get evicted come June. And let me tell you, the sadness I see every day, I knew that people were just going to get evicted left and right. There was nothing going to stop it. There just wasn't enough money and there was no way to work. Even when everybody could go back to work, businesses wanted skeleton crews. They didn't want to hire all the people they had before. They just, could only operate certain hours, and business just wasn't that good, especially how many people are going to go out and buy clothing when they need food. There's so many things. It just doesn't make sense where our government's head is at. It's really, really sad. In Europe, they've done so much better than the United States has, because they really seriously locked down. They really got down on it. There's only a few countries that didn't. Now, Corona didn't go all around the world, and I'll do another vlog about that later, where there's a lot of people that say, oh, Corona's all over the world. Well, it's not. Never has been. Never has been. So you're wrong. And when they kind of, they locked the borders down, they decided to lock down Mexico, stop flights, tell people that if they were going to come over to the border of another state, that they would have to, quarantine for 14 days. Well, all we had to do was go down a back road to avoid that and cross over the state line. People aren't stupid. But, it just doesn't make any sense. I drive down the streets every day, and it's so sad because it's like every other house has stuff on the street, and appears to be vacant. Uh, to me, that looks like people that lost their place to live because they got evicted because they didn't pay their rent during shutdown. Remember, it was only one check. One check. It wasn't by the month. It was one. I don't care if your rent is $400 a month or $4,000 a month. That check was only one. There's still utilities and food. I don't care if you're one person or a family of 8. They skipped years where they said, well, we're not going to pay kids that are 18 to 21 or in college or whatever. So they just skipped that. What about the kids that are out there going to school and have moved out of their home to go to a special school they were excited to go to somewhere, not another city or state, and they've got excluded, and then they stop school? I mean, I don't understand why we have all these people in the government, the Congress, everything else. And I mean, as you know, the presidents are only told what to do. They usually don't do their own thing. That's what got Kennedy in trouble, because he wanted to do his own thing against what they said. Um, and so they're kind of like puppets. But the thing is that, they're all of a sudden now, way after the effect, months later, they're taking vacations and coming back for a couple hours, and then they're going to take another big long vacation. And these are all the people that are in charge of passing this corona stuff, the corona pay. And look what they've done. I mean, so now they're talking about, okay, they're going to do a corona check, and there might be 2. Well, I'm going to tell you why. Tell you what I think it is. I think that the corona is getting way out of control, and they can't trust the people in the United States to stay 6 foot away or wear a mask, and it's just spreading like wildfire. The worst is people just don't care about the 6 foot rule. Not at all. That's the absolute worst. It's deadly. Did you think about that part? Maybe you want to die, but I don't. I think the corona checks are coming out because they're getting ready to do a big lockdown all over again. They're going to hang us up for a month, 2 or 3, till they figure out they about knocked it out. Because, like I said before, they're not going to come up with a vaccine for this thing. It'd take them a year to get it passed by the FDA and everything else. I was right, because like 30 days after, they're like, we think we have one. And it's like, no, you don't. There is so much that has to be approved and passed and certified and this, that, and the other to even get to that point to issue a chemical to people of any kind. They made those mistakes years and years ago. With that green tranquilizer, that was really bad when they were prescribing that to people back like in the 60s. And I mean, I know people that were damaged at birth from that green tranquilizer, one of their parents being prescribed that, and they were damaged at birth from it, and that thing was withdrawn off the market. There's other chemicals like that too that they threw out on the market, and they just weren't checked out enough, and they caused severe damage to human beings, to the unborn and stuff. And that's why they have all these procedures. It takes about a year to get something like that passed, and think that it's safe. And remember, they try it on people that are dying, people that have, like, their time is up, okay? And so then they go, yeah, I'll try it out. I'll be a tester. Because they have no future. Their time is up. So they get to be the guinea pigs, the people where their time is up. So not only is their time is up, that if it's really bad, that it might kill them too. So, I mean, I just don't know. It's like we're marching in the Civil War here. Step, step, shoot. Step, step, shoot. That's about the silliest thing I've ever seen or heard of. And this is like what they're doing with the corona. It's so sad. I don't like to get into a lot of these negative conversations because I like to keep it happy and keep it up, but facts are the facts. When I gotta drive down the street every day and see things on the street that don't belong there, people's belongings, their furniture, kids' toys piled up, and it's like every other house, it's because they were evicted. They lost their homes. Why? Because of corona, just like they lost their jobs because of corona. And I mean, I agree with it, but where is our American government? Where was all this money they have? If you want to save the world, we'll save it. Cut loose of that dough. You've saved it up for years, for lifetimes, for eons. Do what's right, because when all of humanity gets killed off, money will mean nothing. And yeah, they always talked about it since I was a kid, how the world's getting overpopulated. There's too many people and it's getting worse. And okay, so you want to reduce the human race? Is that what the government's trying to do? Let's just let it roll. Let's reduce the human race. Really? I think everybody has a right to life. I really do. Everybody's special in their own way. If we were all the same, we'd surely be boring. That's why variety is the spice of life. Everybody has different thoughts and theories. And I love to talk to people and hear their thoughts, and I learn a lot from people. If I don't learn one new thing a day, I'm just at a loss. I just love to learn. I love to meet new people. I love to do something kind for a stranger. I just do. It's just me. But I'm just telling you, I think that we're headed to a big shutdown all over again. And that's why they're talking about those checks, because they didn't want to cut them loose out before when they kept carrying on like they were going to. And those people were scrambling for that check. I didn't even know about it till way later. And one of my main jobs, I was laid off in March because it was not a food or fuel thing or necessary business. Which that company is going to bankrupt out by the first of this next year, because it just hasn't made it. With the loss of spring break, it's bankrupt the entire company, which streams over the whole United States. They're at a push and a force, because not only that, they had all this EIDL thing, the EIDL loan, and they had this so-called $10,000 SBA grant, and they weren't giving out any $10,000 SBA grant. They gave some of those away to the people that lied and claimed they had 9 employees when there were only 1. That's some cool federal pen time, but what do people care? They don't care about corona. They're going to die over corona. They don't care, because they don't think that that they're going to catch them to go to jail, and if they do, what the hell, what's the fate of dying over corona or going to jail? It's all the same, right? Geez, life is so much more worth living than to push it to the limit and lie to get yourself in federal trouble. Don't do it. It's not worth that. I left home real young, got fake ID, did all this illegal crap to make it as an adult, and I mean, never went to jail. But I'm going to tell you, when I had to roll back over, when I had kids, and be a real legal person, it was really hard to go back. I was scared, to go back and be who I really was. But it was okay. I got through it. I didn't go to jail for that either. I just went back to be me and be honest, true me and legal. real me. And it worked out great and still has. But it's not worth all that to lie and try to get more funds where you've cut other people out that really needed it. Um, one of the businesses I'm in, I kept telling the owner, I said, look, you need to file for this thing. You need to file for that thing just as soon as it came out. So he did. He filed for all these different things, and guess what? Because he went to go be a U.S. citizen, the day they shut the government offices down for Corona, he didn't get to be sworn in as a U.S. citizen. So he did not qualify for all of those government fundings, loans, grants at all. That's right. That's right. And they just opened that office up recently since March. March. Yeah. So, I mean, it's sad what in the heck the government is doing. Where's the money, man? We don't need bombs. All those F-18s they built, and the what was the hidden plane? Stealth. You know what? I've seen 2 stealths in city parks where you can't even go in them or anything. They just sit there rusting till somebody comes along in another 5 years and paints them. And I got to pay for that too. And like that did us a lot of good. All this war stuff, that's the last thing we need to think about is war. Because Corona is the war against us. I'm telling you, that was shipped into this country. And people have been exposed to it, and it just keeps going and going and going. And I still think it's a payback from 1941, that day of infamy. I'm not kidding. I really, really believe that. But I really think that now they're talking about giving these new Corona checks out, and I think it's because they're getting ready to shut us down again. If you think I'm wrong, comment down below, because I think it's a big scam. They're going to all of a sudden sign that stuff when they should have done it months ago and carried it on. People were put out of their homes. Thank God I wasn't, and I travel all over the states all the time. I have different places I live at, but, not everybody has it like that. There's young couples that have children, and there's older people that, are handicapped or disabled or vets. And they don't have the money, or they're still trying to work because they don't qualify to get those resources and funds. And no, not everybody wants to be on welfare. I tried that garbage for like 3 months. Yeah, right. I was on unemployment one time for 1 month. Oh boy. It's easier just to work, but when you can't work because stuff's shut down, it makes it tough, and we just can't sit here and watch the utilities go by. Sorry, I'm not gonna pay electric today. Haven't seen any lately. I mean, it doesn't go like that. I'm not gonna pay my rent because I'm a renter and I don't own stuff and can't afford to buy anything, so they can't evict me. Oh yeah, they will. They'll evict you when they lift it, and you have all that back rent due that was never paid. Sure as hell, I promise you that you're going to get evicted. And what happened? Yeah. People are still getting evicted. What a mess with the United States government. Why? Why have you guys got this stuff so screwed up? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out, much less a mental midget. I'm sorry, but this just really bothers me with the United States government. It's just like every day, it's like, how many more are going to die? They're not going to let it keep going on. They're going to shut us down again. That's a fact, unless they just want everybody to just die off to reduce humanity. I mean, where does it end? I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. Never in my lifetime. And there's so many people I know that it hasn't happened in their lifetime. Because like I say, the Spanish flu was like 100 years ago. There's not a lot of people around, over 100. Just not a lot. But tell me your thoughts, because I really think it's a scam. I think we're going into lockdown again real soon. That's why they're thinking about hoofing out a check, which they're talking about mid-August or late August, which is exactly what the IRS told me. When I talked to them on the phone back in, I think, May, and they said, oh, the next Corona check won't be until, the 1st of August or September or something like that. I'm like, really? Oh, yeah. And that's what they told me way back, which I put that on a vlog on this channel. Go back and check that date. It might have been even March. No, April. It might have been April even. But IRS didn't lie. But what a mess. Tell me what you think. And it'll be a sad sight. They lock us down again. And these new checks coming out mid-August or late August was just a scam, because I knew they were going to do it. And how much more money can they put out by the month to shut us down until we could get this thing out, to stop spreading? Other people from the really bad Corona places come, where I've been in Florida, in a section of Florida, there was one death since March. One. There was 60 cases in March. Do you know how high it is now? It's still much lower than other areas of Florida, but I'm going to tell you, it's because they let people loose. The tourism is insane. They're coming from all over the states, especially the lockdown states. I was on some YouTube thing where these people in Texas got all snotbally about face masks. Well, it's my American right. Yeah, well, why are there so many dead people in Texas? No offense, I've been to Texas lots of times in my lifetime. Like Grapevine. There's some cool places in Texas. But I didn't think about getting Corona and going over to hang out. You know what I mean? I don't wish death on anybody like that. That's not cool. Show the love instead. Talk to you guys later. Stay Corona safe. Love you.